You are now listening to Spice Station with your host, Ego Spice.
Super spice.
In 2018, I realized I had low self esteem. And ironically, that is the same year I created Yungnollywood. Hey, we're turning 7 this year. But at the time, I was sitting in my bed with a friend when I randomly decided to Google the meaning of self esteem. And I thought, wow, I don't think I have the confidence in my own worth or abilities. And I remember my friend saying, oh my God, girl, no, don't say that about yourself. But I am so glad that I had the self awareness to know that that realization was a good thing. Now, in our general society, success is generally measured by money, status, and what people think of you. But we all know or know of many people with success who can't even look at themselves in the mirror, who are trapped by what they have worked so hard to achieve. People with all the accolades and all the wealth and all the relationships, yet they crumble when left with themselves. Now, I was so subconsciously focused on external validation, at some point in my life, I got addicted to the applause and the booing from my parents. And it was so bad that when I was left to my own devices, I had no idea who I was. Meaning that despite my accomplishments, I could not see myself. And because no one around me at the time told me, I didn't know. And when I would receive compliments, I would always deflect. And in hindsight, that is so strange. But I couldn't shake the feeling that I was a burden. And I only felt worthy when I was producing something. And the thing about self-esteem is, or low self-esteem is, the more you live in that space, the more you will attract people who want you to be in that space. So even as you're achieving and getting even more getting even more accomplishments and compliments, the people around you, like the people closest to you, will make you feel like maybe I don't deserve this, because inside of yourself, that's what you believe. So that's what you are attracting. And I only felt worthy when I was producing something. And that right there is a very dangerous way to live. And I would know because shortly after that discovery that I had low self-esteem, I had the greatest burnout period of my life. Like when I tell you burnout, I could not get out of bed. I was exhausted, and now I know that I was burnt out, but at the time I thought that it was just maybe depression, but I wasn't sad. And even after that, I would keep telling people that I don't think I'm depressed because I'm not sad. I am physically exhausted. I was too exhausted to do anything. And even during that period, I was still doing stuff. So my body wouldn't move, but I would keep using my mind. And that's how I was able to create so many young Nollywood memes. I would watch, like, I kid you not, 9 movies in a day and just be creating memes because I couldn't do anything other than laying in the bed and watch movies. And that's why self-esteem matters so much, because I'm obviously somebody with an extreme amount of focus and drive that even in my burnt out era, I created something that is running and is global and is worldwide. But because of my self-esteem, I could not recognize what was going on. I would just beat on myself because I was burnt out. And when you don't validate yourself, you will settle for anyone and anything that validates you. You will chase after love, you will chase after friendships, after approval, even if it kills you. You will put yourself in rooms that don't respect you, relationships that don't value you, situations that drain you. And this is why we need to talk about self esteem, because when you don't have it, life will reflect that back onto you no matter what you achieve. Because people can smell low self esteem from a mile away. And I even know when someone has low self esteem, and it reminds me that, oh my God, I really need to make sure that I have a certain level of, of esteem and respect for myself. Because low self esteem, above all, it is highly, highly anti seductive. And it's how you end up playing small. And there is nothing sadder than seeing somebody who has worked so hard, whether it be on their body, on their career, on whatever it is that they want to achieve, and they achieve it, and you can still see the smallness in them. Like, in particular, like beautiful women, because I love beautiful women. I love what's yeah. But when I see a beautiful woman in a situation where, her man does not cherish her, it just makes me so sad, because it is a reflection of her self esteem. And low self esteem is how you make detrimental choices in love, in business, in friendships, choices that can leave everlasting damage. I'm talking permanent damage, or God forbid, but generational curses on your lineage. And the only people who have a problem with your awareness of your greatness are the people who benefit from your self destruction. And you have to make sure that you build up an internal protection for yourself against people who benefit from your self destruction. Because what is that? We live in a world where someone with a poor self image is, lifted by people, because people love, not all people, but people with low self esteem love to be around other people that make them feel, I guess, bigger, or people with like an inflated sense of self esteem. Because you know that there's low self esteem, there's high self esteem, and then there are those people who think that they are something that they are not. Okay, they have work to do. And just notice what happens when somebody who can actually back up their sense of self esteem arrives, and see how people react to that person. It's either of two things. One, either you're extremely inspired, right? And you're like, yes, girl, do your thing. Or you're like, you know what? This is somebody who is like me. They know who they are. And then there are the people who are completely triggered and take it upon themselves to humble that type of person. And the crazy thing is that validation is for parking, okay? Validation is only for parking. And the last time I checked, we are not cars, at least not yet, okay? Before Elon Musk and Mr. Bezos decide to turn everything into cars. But self-esteem transmutes every curse into a blessing. When you have high self-esteem, things that were meant to break you don't even shake you. Eh? Rejection, you understand, this is protection, okay? This is redirection. Loss, is making room for better. But low self-esteem, it convinces you that you are a victim of every situation. And let me ask you a question. If you are the main character and the writer of the movie that is your life, why would you create a tragedy when you have the option to pick any genre? Okay, low self-esteem makes your life a tragedy, regardless of the blessing that the universe is bestowing on you. And you don't become successful and then feel worthy. You feel worthy, and that is what makes you successful. High self-esteem is truly transformative for a woman's life. In particular, it changes how she sees herself, how she interacts with the world, and the kinds of opportunities she attracts. She stops tolerating half-hearted love and one-sided relationships. Amen. Amen. She naturally attracts partners and friends who respect and cherish and uplift her. She doesn't settle for breadcrumbs. She knows she deserves the full meal, okay, several courses. She moves through life with a quiet, magnetic confidence. Quiet, magnetic confidence. I'm talking about you don't need to proclaim who you are. Because remember when I said, notice what happens when somebody with, high self-esteem and a high sense of self walks into the room. Before they have even said anything, people are either triggered or drawn, okay? Magnetic confidence. She doesn't feel the need to prove herself. Her presence alone commands respect. People listen when she speaks because she carries herself with certainty. She says no without guilt and protects her peace. She doesn't over-explain or justify her decisions. She trusts herself. She only entertains people and situations that align with her standards. She doesn't act out of desperation or fear. And I can't wait to elaborate on this point in particular because I feel like desperation and fear is probably one of the worst things that low self-esteem can do to a person. Okay? She chooses from a place of abundance, knowing the right opportunities will come. I love stressing abundance so much because there is a Bible verse that says, like, I take care of everything. This is God speaking. I take care of the birds in the air. I know every grain of sand, every grain of salt. So why would I not have plans for you? And I feel like that is just so amazing because the world keeps trying to convince us that there is a scarcity. But do you know that even the food that we throw away, even the food we throw away in the trash can, the way God designed the world, even what we call waste, right, literally decays and helps plants to grow. That is how intentionally abundant life is. That's our waste. Literally our carbon dioxide, what we breathe out, helps plants to grow. Okay? She trusts her intuition, making choices that honor her true self. She asks for what she is worth. No more undercharging or overworking for scraps. She doesn't fear stepping into leadership roles or being seen. And the fear of being seen is very, very real. I feel like I didn't even realize that was a part of low self-esteem because it's only something that I am overcoming like recently. That's why you guys can see me on YouTube now. Before I was just like, I don't want nobody to see me, chat. I don't want no problems. She attracts more opportunities because she operates from a mindset of worthiness. She invests in herself, whether it's skincare, fashion, or simply walking with better posture. A woman with high self-esteem knows that she is her greatest investment. Come on now. She radiates beauty from within, and people take notice. She dresses and presents herself in ways that reflect her self-respect. She doesn't crumble at rejection. She understands that it is redirection. She doesn't take things personally because she knows her value isn't up for debate. She bounces back quicker because she believes in her own ability to thrive. She doesn't entertain drama, gossip, or negativity. She values her time. When I tell you in this 2018, the amount of time that I was just on the phone, yap, 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 yeah. My God. She doesn't waste her time on meaningless interactions. But at the end of the day, because, I'm really working on my self-esteem, I will say that there's no interaction I've ever had in my life that is meaningless. Everything is intentional. Why? Because the universe and God is intentional with me. So even the yapping I was doing, if the whole point was for me to know that moving forward, I should not do this again. Lesson learned. She surrounds herself with people who match her energy or elevate it. She softens because she feels safe within herself. And this is such a precious statement because when you start speaking to yourself from a place of love, you know, when I started to tell myself, oh my God, my darling, my sweetheart, you're burnt out. It's not that you're lazy, you're tired. You need to prioritize rest. Rest is part of being productive, you know? The way that I softened, the way I changed, like that inner voice in our head, it's very important that we decondition that inner voice and train it to speak to us from a place of love. And that's why affirmations are so important. And I hope you guys know that all the things I'm saying about a woman who has self esteem, you can use it to write your own affirmation. That's definitely what I'm going to do. And if you want affirmations, like let me know. I will definitely make a podcast episode dedicated to saying certain affirmations. I mean, I already have one prepped for the eldest daughters because, you know, they are very precious to me and I'm one of them. But if you guys have any like particular topics that you would like affirmations for, because that's something that really transformed my life. The way you speak to yourself makes you feel safe within yourself. Yeah. She doesn't perform femininity for male approval. She embodies it for herself. She naturally exudes grace, poise, and elegance. And when I say grace, poise, and elegance, I'm not talking about one particular aesthetic because I know that it has been a trend, you know. The classy girl, you know. I always say that you can be whatever you want to be. Just make sure that you are the expensive version. Okay. She enjoys her own company and isn't afraid to be alone, honey. Solitude will be your best friend when you have high self-esteem. And I think that is how you make sure that you only have certain types of relationships in your life as a woman with high self-esteem, because you fall in love with your solitude. She doesn't seek external validation because she validates herself first. She loves the woman that she is and the woman that she is becoming. And it is very important to love yourself at any place in the journey, in your journey that you are in. So important. Because at the end of the day, it's a journey. Like, the destination is to see ourselves for who we truly are, love ourselves for who we truly are, embrace ourselves for who we truly are, be confident in ourselves for who we truly are. And you are truly who you are at every, you know, time in your journey. And the woman I just described is who I am. Is who I am and who I am being and who I am becoming. The woman I just described is who you are being, who you are becoming. And at the core of it all, high self-esteem means she moves through life as a woman who knows that she is valuable, lovable, and powerful simply because she is, without needing anyone else to confirm it. What did Jesus say? I am who I am. We are who we are simply because we are who we are. And when a woman carries herself like that, life responds accordingly. And as I say this all to you, I am saying it to myself. Your self-esteem is your protection. When you truly see yourself, you move differently. You attract. You don't seek. You just know. And life meets you at the level of your self-worth. Regardless of how much you achieve, life can only meet you at the level of your self-worth. So let's raise our self-worth, guys. Let's raise it as high as we can. Okay? Let's give the people who love us a reason to smile. Because I know that the people who care about me are so happy. Are so happy that I love myself. Okay? So that's it for today, my loves. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Replay it, okay? And remember, success means nothing if you don't love the person who is living the life that you have created. Guys, subscribe. We made it to 100 subscribers, and I'm very, very happy. Okay? I'm actually taking this seriously. I will be uploading weekly. Amen. But yeah, until next time, my loves, be reckless about your self preservation. Bye.